What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your clutch plates on a dirt bike. I'm going to be showing you on my 2000 CR 125, but it's generally the same process on any bike. So the first thing you're going to want to do, start off by soaking your friction plates in whatever oil your bike calls for overnight. You only need to soak the friction plates. The steel plates do not need to be soaked. So yeah, first soak them overnight. Second off, you're going to want to get the old oil out of your bike. So grab yourself a drain pan, and don't know how well you can see, the drain bolt is right there. Most stands, well actually all stands and the lower plate have a hole in it for the oil to drain out of. So yeah, start by draining them. So some people actually try and do this without changing their oil, and if you want to try and do that, you want to lay the bike as far this way as possible, so all the oil goes to that side. And then the next step, you're going to want to either remove or get something to hold this brake lever down so you can access this bolt back here and pull the cover off. So you're going to want to remove, on this particular bike, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts, and that is your check bolt. We'll get to that later. So once you get your clutch cover off, in most cases, for some reason the clutch kits don't usually come with this O-ring. I recommend ordering one anyway, just because you don't have to replace this. You're supposed to just inspect it, and if it's damaged then you replace it, but it's like $1, so why not replace it? So once you get that off, you'll have your pressure plate here with your 5 springs and all your clutch plates back there. So what you want to do is remove these 5 bolts. They shouldn't be tight at all. They're only about 7 foot-pounds, so they should come right out. Okay, so once you got your 5 bolts and springs out, I'm going to be replacing these springs, so I'm just going to throw these away. But a lot of people, for whatever reason, they don't replace the springs, because when you replace the springs, you're putting new, stronger springs in there, so your clutch pull might be a little bit harder. So some people like to not replace them to keep the clutch pull light, but it's definitely a good idea to replace these springs. So once you get all that out, you have your pressure plate right here. You can just grab this and pull it off just like that. So once you got that out, you can reach in here and pull out all of your plates. So if you pull in the clutch lever and put your bike in gear and you experience the bike jerking forward, that is your culprit right there. Those lines, I don't know how well you can see that, those lines, those are what causes that. So you're going to want to pick up a pack of files, and you're going to want to file them down till they're pretty smooth, as smooth as you can get them, like that. And then you're gonna want to do that all the way around, on both sides, all the way around. File them down smooth, and that should eliminate that. Just make sure you don't file off too much. File off just enough to get them smooth. Alright, so my GoPro just died, so I'm gonna have to finish this on my phone. So I highly recommend you remove this to wow, this actually looks better. I highly recommend you remove this to file these down, but that's a lot more work than I was already doing, so I didn't do that. So what I'm actually going to do is, after I put it all back together, I'm going to put the old oil back in it, run it for a minute just to get all the metal chips to the bottom, drain the old oil, and then put the new oil in it. So let me see if I can't find a way to set my phone up. I don't know how well this is going to work. Come on. You got it? Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to start with a friction plate. So grab your friction plate and slide it on in there. Then you're going to grab one of your clutch plates, slide that in. Get your next friction plate, slide that on in, and then you're just going to keep going back and forth until you get to the very last plate. So once you get your last plate in there, you're going to grab your pressure plate, stick that shit on there, and then you're going to get your 5 new springs. Where's my last one? And those are the old ones. I don't know where my last spring's at. Alright, I got it. Stick that in there. Get your 5 bolts. And this is the Tusk clutch kit. So these springs, they say, are 10% stronger than the or stiffer than the OEM springs, which means if you use these if you use the Tusk clutch kit springs, you will have a stiffer clutch pull because they're a little bit stiffer. So I'm going to gun these down real quick. Now, these aren't super tight. They only go to 7 foot-pounds. So don't want to get them super tight. I'm gonna grab my torque wrench. Okay, so I got the cover back on now. Sorry I didn't show you that part. I actually did film it, but I accidentally filmed it portrait mode, so I'm not gonna put it in here. But you're just gonna throw the 5 bolts back on. Lightly tighten them. You can torque them if you want. I'm not sure what the torque spec is. I just did it by hand. It's probably about 7 to 10 foot-pounds, maybe, probably inch-pounds. I don't know. Just look it up if you want to torque it. So then to fill it up, you're going to want to take this off your fill plug, whatever the hell you call it, oil cap. Make sure you put your drain bolt back in underneath. And then this is your check bolt. So I don't know about all bikes, but my bike right there has the amount of oil the oil capacity, 650 cubic centimeters. I don't really go off that. Well, actually, I just convert that to fluid ounces and then put that in there. You don't have to do any of that. If your bike, if this will come out, mine stripped out. The person who had it before me, they stripped out the check bolt, so I don't want to mess with that right now to get it out. So I'm just going to measure out 650 cubic centimeters of oil. But what you do if this does come out, if this isn't stripped and you can get it out, take that bolt out, pour oil in until it starts to drizzle out of here, and once the oil starts running out of this hole, that's when you're full. So the oil sits right up, all that will be filled with oil from here down, and then the rest isn't. So yeah, just take that out, pour oil in until it starts coming out of that hole, put the bolt back in, put the cap on, and you're done. Thank you guys for watching.